folks, I'm with two guys in a ride, and today we're out here in New Ulm, Minnesota, and we are at the AACA Grand National Zenith Award Show, and we're here with Mark. Mark, what do we have behind us here?
It's a 1965 Buick Skylark Gran Sport.
We don't see a lot of these.
No.
Let's start up in the front here. It's interesting, you know, they have the Wildcat 445, but there's not the reference to horsepower.
It is not. That's the torque rating on the engine was 445 foot-pounds of torque.
Huh. Do you know approximately how many horsepower it was?
325.
325.
Yep.
That's interesting. We see that coming back now, that labeling the torque.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cadillac has a similar thing.
Okay,
they put it on the back of their cars, but
Okay.
that's interesting. So when you got the car, there's a history, because you know the history of this car all the way back to the late 66. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I got the car, it was a worn-out, used muscle car. It had been wrecked in the front, so it had a repaint that was like a Earl Scheib repaint. It was a quick and dirty job.
Okay.
And had a worn-out vinyl top. The seats it was California. The seats were burnt and cracked and falling apart, and it was just an old used car when I got
it. All right. But you didn't know the owner necessarily.
I had no idea. I bought it from a friend.
Okay, so you did buy it from a friend.
From a friend of mine, and we didn't know what the past of this car was at all.
Okay, so how did you figure out all the stuff about the car back to 66 then?
Well, I have a friend in Green Bay who has a 65 Gran Sport.
Okay.
And he had an Ancestry.com account, and I have the name in the owner's manual of who was the purchaser in 66. Oh. He ran the person on Ancestry.com and found his daughter.
Okay.
Who I contacted, and she lived in Phoenix, and she said, you need to call my brother who lives in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
Okay.
Who I contacted, and he actually came over to the house to see the car. It was all finished.
Okay.
And I think he spent a half a day over there, and we talked for a long time, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of the history of the car in one morning in January of 2015.
And then he was able to give you photocopies of like tons of receipts from repairs.
Old titles. All kinds of things like that. I got the original plates for the car that were on it when it was purchased, so
sweet.
Neat stuff.
That is just fun.
Yeah.
Man, I bet you made his year.
Well,
that's fun.
He made mine too. So.
Yeah, well, it works both ways. Okay, so now these were the magnesium rims?
They're just chrome steel wheels.
They're just chrome steel.
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't tell with the gray because...
Yep, they're just chrome steel wheels. It was an option on 65.
Okay.
Most of them had it, but that's an option.
All right. Then, as we come back to the interior here, what did you do on the... I'm assuming because of the condition, you had to have the whole inside reupholstered?
Everything inside was done. Right, headliner, upholstery, carpet, door panels. This car's a little different because it does not have a console
in the middle.
So it's got just it's a 4-speed car.
Yeah.
So the shifter just comes out of the floor, and that's all. That's all we have. There's no frills, no. It's just
bare bones,
all business.
little muscle
all
car.
Business. Yeah.
Now I also noticed that there's something quite different about your roof. That wouldn't have come that way from the factory.
You could
actually? You could order it that way?
You could order a painted top.
Oh.
Two-tone like this.
Usually you see they have the padding on the top.
It had a vinyl top when I got the car. It was a factory vinyl top, and we peeled it off and decided to paint it and not replace the vinyl top. That's what we did.
Well, it's just nice. So this would have been an original color scheme.
This is all the original color scheme. So this color is called Champagne Mist. That was the original color of this car.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so on the inside, of course, wow, I love the size of those speedometers. Go halfway across the dashboard.
Goes all the way across, yeah.
Yeah, and then
no.
I also really liked on Buicks, and Buick I think is the only one that did this, but they labeled Buick on the radio memory knobs.
On the buttons.
Yeah, I always liked that. Okay, so explain the gauge, the buttons, the pull knobs, the 3 on the dashboard starting at the left.
This is an idiot light car. There were no gauges in this car.
Okay.
There were no optional gauges for this car.
Okay.
So they have, it's just headlights, wipers, a lighter in the radio, and then 2 heater controls.
Boy, this was really basic.
That's it.
Really basic, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing to it. And it's got vent pulls for the floor vents because it's not an air car. So you cool yourself off by pulling the floor vent.
And it was a 4-speed?
4-speed, factory 4-speed.
Okay.
Yep.
And then how much, when the restoration was done, sometimes, people, decide what they want to have done and they market it out and have someone else do the restoration.
Yep.
And sometimes people do a mixture, do some themselves, some do it all.
Yep.
What did you do on this car? Is this got some of your touch to it?
Oh, well, I did most. The only thing I didn't do to this car, I didn't do the paint.
Okay.
This was done in Maple Grove, Minnesota. The paint job.
I was going to say the paint jobs. There's really one good thing about this car.
So the paint is.
Just joking.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. A 65 Gran Sport guy that used to live in the Twin Cities that now lives in Lincoln did the seats.
Okay.
And the door panels were done by Legendary, which is a company out on the East Coast.
Okay.
So they did the door panels. I had a local upholstery firm redo the headliner and new headliner inside. That pretty much covers the inside of the car.
Right.
But it's got a new steering wheel, a recast steering wheel, because the original's crack and break and whatnot.
Yep.
So it's got a recast wheel. But other than that, that's about the whole thing. Not much more than that.
Okay.
Reproduction parts is here and there.
There?
Yeah. But so to your question,
Yeah.
I took this car apart myself, put it together myself, and anything besides the upholstery paint and the engine work, I did most of the rest of the work. So
that's a lot.
It was
That's
20
a lot.
years, 20 years worth.
20 years it took you.
20 years.
Man. Well, I tell you what, you have a fantastic car as a result.
Thank you. I
That is,
appreciate that.
man, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And actually, I like not having that center console between the seats. I kind of like that look.
It's different.
It's different.
It's bare
but,
bones.
Man. Yeah, it makes it unique.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, the seats would just pull up. There wasn't any knob or release knob. They just bend forward, right? You don't have to pull it out. Yeah, right. Yep.
Just like that.
And they didn't fold flat. They just
did not.
They pulled
Enough
up
to forward to get in the back.
Right.
That's all it was, right.
Hey, you had seat belts
I did have seat belts in the front only.
in the front. Well,
Optional
who cares
on
about the back? You don't ever ride there, right?
I don't.
All right, let's take a walk around the back here. It's just beautiful interior. Boy, I absolutely love that. Now, this is like a 8-body trunk or a 2 Jimmy Hoffa trunk.
2 or 3.
That 2 or 3. That's all it
3.
fits.
Yeah.
Boy, you got a big,
With a little room to spare. Yeah.
All right, so bi-sply tire.
Yes.
Boy, I didn't even look on these ones. Those are bi-sply
Same
too.
ones. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Now the huge trunk. Would this carpet have been in here originally? This little bit on the bottom here.
Yes.
This padding.
They didn't have. You'll see a number of these cars because you can't really get this material anymore.
Okay.
So I bought this. There's one supplier. He's in South Carolina, and I bought a bunch from him in order to, because this is a 2-piece mat in here, and we have some documentation amongst the 65 Skylark group of what these look like, shaped like, and so I got this, but I had to put a different backing on it because all the backing to this material is the correct material on top, but the backing material is all from age is all rotted off.
Okay.
So we had to clean it all off, and then we went to like Michael's.
Yep.
Yep. And got some foam backing, and that's what's in here right now.
Man.
And it mimics the originals very close. So.
Well, you could tell it was a base car. There was no carpeting or padding
Nothing fancy.
anywhere else.
No.
But you did have a spare wheel cover.
They had that. They had that. Yep.
That was probably
That
an
was a
extra
Buick thing.
$2. You didn't put that cover in there. You got your jack, of course, and your tire tools. Man,
Everything back here is original. That's just a re-chromed original. The taillights came off of a different car because the ones on this car were in pretty
Really
tough
bad
shape. So these came from, I don't know, I got them from a guy out east 25 years ago.
I just like how they go all the way across
It's
the car.
awesome.
I just
know.
love
With the
that
taillights
look.
on, it looks
Yeah.
great.
All right, let's step up to the front. You gotta wear sunglasses. The chrome.
So,
You could have polished it a little bit less.
I was trying. So the original front sheet metal on this car I got rid of because it was from a wrecked car. It was wrecked.
it was
It was replaced with the junkyard front, and I got rid of all that stuff back in the 90s. So this is the second re-chrome bumper I've put on this car. The first one was not good enough. It didn't fit. It was not fit to the body correctly.
Okay.
Then I bought this bumper at a local swap meet.
Okay.
And straightened it all out. Had it re-chromed. This bumper's pretty good.
This looks great.
But the grill and the headlight bezels and most of the other stuff I got their new old stock. GM
Okay.
parts.
Yeah. Right.
So
Right.
not re-chromed, none of that. It's just new old stock parts.
Man.
All the stuff down here is new old stock.
Okay. But it mimics the original. I mean, that's the closest you can get. It's the
It's
same
all
thing
original
as
stuff.
yeah.
They're just in boxes. Yeah.
So, Mark, what made you want to get into cars? I mean, you're obviously
Since I could stand up and walk.
Okay. Was your dad into cars? Or?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
No.
What, your mom?
No.
No? You just had a love for it?
Just me.
Just you?
Yeah, 6 siblings, but it was just me.
Just you?
Yeah. So,
well,
yeah, ever since I could walk and talk, I was a car guy. So I've had, I mean.
Is this the first car that you've restored? It took you 20 years. I'd understand if it was.
This is the first car. I've done other like semi-restorations, but
okay.
Partial stuff, but never a nut and bolt job like this, body off deal like this.
Right.
This is my first one.
Well, that's a huge project.
It's
absolutely huge.
You need 2 garage stalls just to store all the parts.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So, I mean, well, the nice thing is you ended up with an absolutely stunning car.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oy. I'll give you $200 more than it was paid for in 1966.
I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to me.
I got your card, don't I?
Yeah, you do. You do. I had to try. Mark, thank you so much for sharing your time and your car with us.
Yep.
We appreciate
you as well.
it.
Yep. All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.